Hi everyone, this is Lisa from No Problem Consulting Agency. I'm licensed immigration consultant in Canada. This was a rather shocking announcement that was released today, and I'm sorry to say that, but this would be a lot of deal breaker for quite a lot of family who was expecting to apply for their study permit, any diploma certificate program from public schools or even private school. This is a bit of an issue for them, and I'm going to give you the simple explanation why and what it means for most of the people who are expecting to come to Canada via this education institution, and then they were expecting to have a PGWP afterwards, and then they were planning on bringing their spouse so that their spouse can support them while they're working. But the problem is, this is quite a big of a problem for any international students, like potentially wanting to come to Canada using this study permit as a pathway to immigrate to Canada. So basically the key points are a few, and those are huge, very dramatic change I have not seen over a decade, especially in terms of international students, because international students are good money maker for most of the provinces, and this time it's going to be a lot harder and harder, and I can tell you that what it means and why they are doing this. So basically, here are the key points, okay? So they were not happy with how people are deceiving or find the loophole to use study permit to get their publicly funded education also for their immigration pathway to Canada. So what government is trying to do right now is trying to make the study permit harder and harder so that people would not use this to cheat the system of it. So basically, the reason why they are reducing the number of study permit is because they just found out that a lot of students enroll themselves in school and that they ended up not going to school. Rather, they've been using this to finish or to get their spouse or dependent child to get their work permit and then have them apply for their permanent residency. And also some people apply for their school and apply for their publicly funded education and they don't finish their school. So what it means here, so as you can see, because a rapid increase in the number of international students arriving in Canada put pressure on housing, healthcare, other services. So they basically don't want international students drive up the price of the housings, and then they don't like the fact that only the international students number is going up. So what they have decided to do today, I mean, I was expecting this is going to happen, but not this dramatically, first of all. And then the second of all, I was thinking that they probably reduced the number of the quota, like the cap for the approved international study permit. But now, like, this makes me feel like they are making really, really unpleasant and not appealing for any international student's family to apply for this study permit unless you really want to study. So here's the thing. So as you can see, they are going to an intake cap. So what that means is every school will have a cap limit on how many international students they can accept. What that means is they're going to increase the intensity of the requirements for each program. So as you can see, stabilize new growth for a period of the 2 years for 2024. This is the important part. Expected to result in approximately 360,000 study permit. That was 35% decrease. So whether you like it or not, they are going to put a cap limit on each province, and that will be depending on the population of the province. So what will happen is they're going to give this cap to each province. I'm just going to make this as simple as I can. So if they are going to give 5,000 study permit ticket to British Columbia, what British Columbia will do is they will allocate those 5,000 tickets into each school. Okay, so they will give 200 tickets to BCIT, 300 tickets to Capilano University. So basically, the quota and also the seat availability for each program will inevitably get smaller and smaller. Okay, and when things like this dramatic polish took place, the thing that I always concern is that whether or not this new policy will grandfather pre-existing clients of mine. So it says study permit renewal will not be impacted. Okay, so renewal is good. Also, the master's and doctoral degrees and elementary and secondary education are not included. So they didn't put any cap for minors and also master's and doctorate students. Okay, and current study permit holder will not impact it. So they are going to grandfather whatever the policy they had before on the person who had applied for the study permit before this happened. Okay, and then this is the one that I was talking about. IRCC will allocate a portion of the cap to each province and territory, who will then distribute the allocation among their designated learning institutions. This temporary measurement, this is another good factor. So how long they are going to be doing that is going to be for the next 2 years. And then they are going to announce how many students they are going to accept in 2025. Okay. And about the PGWP program, I mean, this is the essential factor for most of international students to apply for their diplomas and certificate in public school. So starting September 2024, who begins study program that is part of a curriculum licensing arrangement. So this can be interpreted in two different terms. So first of all, it could be one of those private school that offers you curriculum, like credit school, that leads you to the public institution transfer. And also there is private school that has deal with the public school. After they are graduating private school, they are entitled to transfer their credit to public school, and then they are not going to be eligible for their postgraduate work permit. That's crazy. And keep that in mind. So these dates are very, very important. Okay. And this was basically, they've seen this is really popular for the international students for a reason, and then they don't want people to use this to apply for the PGWP. So graduates of master's and other short graduate level programs will soon be eligible for apply for 3-year work permit. So they're going to be fine. They're going to be able to apply for their 3-year postgraduate work permit. So if you're applying for the master or post-secondary program, that's great, good to know. But this, I don't know if they are going to make that change sooner, or it's going to take a little longer, because I can see that it's going to be facing a lot of haterism because of this factor here. In the weeks ahead, open work permit will only be available to spouse of international students in master's and doctoral program. So basically, if you're applying for your diploma program in any public school, even though you might be eligible for the PGWP later on, but your spouse is no longer able to apply for their spouse open work permit. Basically, you will not have your spouse to stay with you, to support you while you're studying. This is the most disappointing announcement I've ever seen for quite a while, okay? That kind of gets me to think that meaning is basically they want someone who is financially very, very stable while they're staying. And we have seen these changes only a few months ago, like in December. They increased the financial requirements for international students to apply for their study permit, right? So to make long story short, if you don't have enough money to cover your study, to cover your staying in Canada, don't rely on your spouse. Don't rely on your bank account that is not fat enough, okay? So this is kind of very, very sad for me, honestly. Like, this will drive people away coming to Canada sincerely wanting to study, but it's not that appealing anymore. I mean, this is just my personal opinion of it. Like, based on what today's announcement, I can simply say that what they're trying to do is that they're trying to increase the number of labor rather than the number of international students. I mean, it's only probably because they are hurting for like active labor, so they will be putting more opportunity for someone who wants to come here and work. And I think the Minister of Immigration, Matt Miller, he's very conservative, so he want real, genuine people to come to Canada for a rightful reason. I mean, I'm not blaming him for this. I mean, there has been a lot of loophole in various of the places all over the immigration policies that I've seen. But I think this was rather a bit too sudden, and also this could create a lot of friction. So I hopefully, if anyone planning on coming to Canada as an international student for the next 2 years, put your cards right. Make sure why you're here. Is it for genuinely studying, or is it just kind of milestone before you can apply for your permanent residency? So if you do need some kind of help just to find the rightful way for you to tackle the situation, please feel free to check out No Problem Consulting channel, and we're here to help you. If you were planning on coming here as a student, maybe you might want to reconsider it to apply as a worker, because employers are always looking to hire more foreign worker because they're more dedicated, committed, etc., etc., etc. And then No Problem can definitely certainly help you with that. So yeah, like I'm really sorry to say this to who had applied for their international study program, but unfortunately, once this is actually taking place soon, a lot of people might have to change their plan. Therefore, there will be a lot of people who would drop their program. So I mean, it's sad, but it's also not sad. Like maybe this is actually a good time for you to rethink what kind of pathway you really need to intend on having. So so definitely feel free to connect with us, and don't forget to subscribe our channel and like our channel, and hopefully I can help you to get through this tough time. Okay, bye.